Listen carefully, because life does not repeat lessons. This is not motivation. This is understanding. Today, we need to talk about a dangerous sentence many people repeat without thinking. I'm still young. That sentence has ruined more lives than failure ever did. 1. I'm still young makes you delay what life requires now. When people say, I'm still young, what they really mean is, I can postpone responsibility. I can delay discipline. I can ignore consequences. Youth becomes an excuse, but life does not work with excuses. Life works with timing. There are things that must be done early, not because you are old, but because they take time to mature. Character, skill, wisdom, financial stability. You don't wake up one day and suddenly have them. They are built slowly. When you delay early work, you compress future pressure. That's why many adults feel overwhelmed. They are carrying 10 years of delay at once. 2. I'm still young makes you misuse time without feeling guilty. This mentality makes people waste time comfortably. They say, let me enjoy first. I'll get serious later. Others are doing worse than me. Time hears none of that. Time keeps moving. Every year you waste does not disappear. It moves into your future as regret, stress, and limitations. What you fail to build at 25, you will struggle to build at 40. Not because you are lazy, but because energy, patience, and options reduce. Time is generous early. It is ruthless later. 3. I'm still young makes you underestimate compounding. Compounding is not just about money. It is about habits, skills, and decisions. Small things done early grow quietly. Reading, saving, learning, discipline. But when people believe they are still young, they ignore small things. They want results without foundations. Later in life, they panic because others are far ahead. They feel left behind. Catching up feels impossible. The truth is painful. Those people didn't move faster. They simply started earlier. 4. I'm still young makes you play with irreversible choices. Youth makes people believe everything can be fixed. But that is not true. Some decisions damage health, destroy reputation, limit opportunities, close doors permanently. When consequences arrive, age will not protect you. Life will ask, what did you do when you had the chance? And silence will answer. 5. I'm still young disconnects you from purpose. Purpose requires clarity, not age. But when people think they are young, they avoid self-examination. They drift. They copy others. They chase trends. Years pass. One day they wake up busy, but lost. The tragedy is not failing. The tragedy is living long and never knowing why you exist. Purpose ignored early becomes confusion later. 6. I'm still young makes you financially reckless. Many financial disasters start with this mentality. People spend because I'll make money later. This is my time to enjoy. I'll recover. Money does not respect optimism. Money respects structure. Debt accumulated early follows you like a shadow. By the time you want to be serious, money is already controlling your choices. Youth is the best time to learn money. Not because you have much of it, but because mistakes are cheaper early. 7. I'm still young makes you ignore discipline. Discipline feels unnecessary when time seems plenty. So people avoid routines, consistency, self-control. They rely on motivation. But motivation is emotional. Discipline is structural. When motivation disappears, and it always does, only discipline remains. Those who delay discipline live harder lives later. 8. I'm still young makes you think pain is optional. Pain delayed is not pain avoided. Effort postponed returns as suffering. Early pain is learning, building, saying no. Late pain is regret, stress, panic, limitations. Life will collect payment, either early with discipline or later with interest. 9. I'm still young makes you forget that time is unfair. Time treats people differently based on preparation. Two people can be the same age. One looks calm, the other looks exhausted, not because of luck, but because one used time intentionally and the other assumed time was endless. Time does not apologize. 10. The truth nobody likes to hear. Youth is not a license. It is an opportunity, and opportunities expire. The sentence, "I'm still young," sounds comforting now, but it becomes cruel later. Final warning. If you are young, this is not the time to relax. This is the time to learn, build, prepare, discipline yourself, because one day you will no longer be young, and life will not care what you meant to do. Now, let me move you to the second part. In the first part, we talked about why the sentence, "I'm still young," is dangerous. Now we need to face something harder. You are not as early as you think. When people hear the sentence, "You are not as early as you think," they often misunderstand it. They think it means panic. They think it means fear. It does not. It means awareness. Most people measure their lives by age, but life does not measure progress by age. Life measures progress by what has been built, what has been learned, what has been prepared. You can be young in years and still be late in preparation, because time does not start counting when you feel ready. It starts counting when opportunity appears, and many opportunities appear quietly, without announcement, without warning. This theme is not saying you are finished. It is saying you have already spent more time than you realize. And what makes this truth uncomfortable is not that time has passed. It is that time will not slow down to explain itself again. This is not a message to frighten you. It is a message to wake you up, while waking up still matters. Now let's break this down. 1. Time has already been spent, you just didn't notice. Many people think time starts counting when life becomes serious. That is a mistake. Time started counting the moment you were given awareness. Every year you lived, learning nothing, building nothing, preparing nothing, was not neutral. It was spent. Time does not wait for readiness. It only waits for action. And whether you acted or not, time moved. 2. Life does not give you the same options twice. People assume they can always restart, but life does not reset equally. What was easy at 20 requires effort at 30. What was possible at 30 becomes stressful at 40. What was flexible at 40 becomes limited later. Not because life is cruel, but because capacity changes. Energy reduces. Responsibilities increase. Recovery slows. Time closes doors quietly. 3. You are competing with time, not people. Many people compare themselves to others, but your real competitor is time. Time determines how long skills take to mature, how long investments grow, how long character forms. When you delay, you are not falling behind people. You are falling behind processes. Processes do not rush for anyone. 4. Regret does not come early. It comes when change is hard. Regret is patient. It waits until energy is low, options are few, consequences are real. Then it speaks. That's why many people feel calm in their youth and anxious later. Not because life became harder, but because reversal became difficult. 5. Most people realize too late that time was the real currency. Money feels important. Status feels important. Attention feels important. But time funds everything. You trade time for skills, money, health, relationships. When time is spent without return, everything else suffers. And unlike money, time does not forgive waste. 6. I still have time is often self-deception. People say, I still have time, to avoid discomfort. Learning is uncomfortable. Discipline is uncomfortable. Saying no is uncomfortable. So they delay. Later, discomfort becomes pain. Early discomfort is chosen. Late discomfort is imposed. 7. Life punishes delay, not intentions. Life does not reward good plans. Life rewards execution. What you meant to do does not count. Only what you actually built does. That's why many good people suffer. Good intentions. No structure. No action. Life responds to results, not sincerity. 8. You feel early because you haven't measured yourself honestly. People feel early because they compare upward lazily. They say, others are worse. I'm doing okay. At least I'm not like them. But life does not grade on comparison. It grades on potential versus usage. Unused potential does not age well. 9. Every year delayed increases the cost of change. Starting late is not impossible, but it is expensive. It costs more energy, more discipline, more sacrifice, more pain. That's why people say, if I knew earlier, they didn't lack information. They lacked urgency. 10. The hardest realization. You are not late, but you are no longer early. That middle space is dangerous because it still feels comfortable, but consequences are forming. This is the last safe window. My final wake-up call to you is that Part 1 warned you about saying, I'm still young. Part 2 is telling you, time has already started collecting payment. The earlier you respond, the less it will cost. And here is the final closing remark. Do not panic, but do not relax. Move with awareness. Understanding changes everything. Now, think about your own life.